Coming up, flooding across Boca Raton after heavy weekend storms, how rising sea levels could make it worse.
And Hurricane Melissa devastates Jamaica, the second strongest storm ever recorded.
Plus, a major Amazon Web Services outage leaves FAU students locked out of Canvas.
And finally, what snowbird season means for off-campus students commuting to campus. All that and so much more on this week's OwlTV Today.
Good morning, Florida Atlantic. I'm Sheryl Dezeme.
And I'm Marissa Verzi. Welcome to this morning's edition of OwlTV Today, where we bring you the latest stories from across campus and the community.
Parts of Boca Raton are still cleaning up after heavy storms flooded the streets on October 26th.
Several neighborhoods battled standing water for hours, with many drivers forced to turn around on Federal Highway and Palmetto Park roads. Some areas experienced floodwaters reaching up to a foot deep, stranding cars and closing several intersections. Local businesses reported severe flooding like the Boca Raton Hotel. As you can see, it was a wild scene, with parts of water swamping the lobby and parking lot, which has since been restored.
City officials say rising sea levels are putting more pressure on drainage systems. The city plans to invest in infrastructure upgrades to better handle future storms.
And a major storm has struck Jamaica, leaving devastating impacts in its path. Hurricane Melissa made landfall earlier this week as a Category 5 storm, packing sustained winds of 185 miles per hour. It is now the second strongest hurricane ever to make landfall in the Atlantic region.
The storm slammed into Jamaica's southwestern coast, near the town of New Hope in St. Elizabeth Parish. Massive storm surges, some reaching up to 13 feet, flooded coastal areas and caused widespread damage to homes, roads, and hospitals.
Officials say hundreds of thousands are still without power, and major roads remain blocked by debris and floodwater. Emergency crews are working around the clock to reach stranded residents and restore communication lines. Jamaica's Prime Minister has declared a national disaster zone, urging calm as international aid begins to arrive. Minister Desmond McKenzie from the Office of Disaster and Preparedness and Emergency Management said this.
It is not going to be an easy road, Jamaica. We have seen the extent of the damage. It is going to take a lot of time. I know that person's patience is not going to last for much longer, because when you are in need, persons want us to break the rules. While we are prepared to do everything to accommodate speedy response.
Relief teams from neighboring Caribbean nations and the U.S. are already on the ground to help with recovery efforts. Now, Hurricane Melissa is heading towards Cuba and the Bahamas, but forecasters warn it could continue to produce dangerous impacts across the region.
In other news, thousands of FAU students could not access assignments or grades last week as Canvas went down nationwide. The issue stemmed from an outage in the Amazon Web Services, which hosts the platform.
The problem began early Monday, October 20th, and lasted several hours before being resolved. Professors extended deadlines, and FAU's IT department confirmed no data was lost.
Amazon says they're reviewing what caused the outage to prevent it from happening again.
On campus, students and community members gathered on Monday for a special screening of Live, Not By Lies, the final episode of the anti-communist documentary series produced by Angel Studios.
The event featured a pre-screening discussion with producer R.J. Mueller and journalist Rod Dreyer, along with special guest Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, podcaster Ben Shapiro, FAU President Adam Hasner, and College of Business Dean Daniel Gropper.
After the screening, the panel took questions from the audience, reflecting on their themes of freedom, faith, and modern-day challenges to individual liberty.
And it's that time of the year again, snowbird season. Traffic's building, restaurants are packed, and the license plates are changing. I had the chance to speak with Boca Raton's Department of Traffic and Transportation about what this means for students commuting to campus.
Bumper-to-bumper traffic is becoming a common occurrence here in South Florida lately, and part of the reason why is an influx of vehicles on the road during snowbird season. But what does this new traffic flow mean for students living off campus? According to the Boca Raton Department of Traffic and Transportation, traffic across the city experiences a significant but predictable increase starting around mid to late October and lasting through the end of April. During this time, the number of vehicles on the road jumps roughly by 20 to 25%, and many of those drivers are less familiar with the area, especially along major roads like Glades Road, Yamata Road, and Federal Highway. For FAU students, this seasonal congestion means longer commute times and earlier mornings. Many students are finding they need to leave 15 to 30 minutes earlier just to make it to class on time, with Glades Road and Spanish River Boulevard among the most impacted routes. City officials say they're taking several proactive steps to ease the pressure. That includes adjusting traffic signal timing on major corridors to match seasonal patterns, staging infrastructure projects to avoid lane closures during peak months, and pursuing long-term mobility improvements through the city's comprehensive plan. One surprising factor most drivers don't realize is that the peak congestion hours shift during snowbird season. Instead of the typical early morning rush, traffic tends to build steadily through midday and into the evening, from about 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Officials also note more fender benders and slowdowns caused by unfamiliar drivers missing turns or braking suddenly. For students, city officials recommend defensive driving, adding buffer time and using alternate transportation whenever is possible. The El Rio Trail and the Palm Tran Route 94 both provide convenient options for FAU commuters, and the city's on-demand shuttle service helps connect campus to downtown and surrounding areas. Finally, students can stay ahead of traffic by signing up for Alert Boca, a free service that sends notifications about traffic incidents, construction, and emergencies. As Boca continues to grow and welcome seasonal residents, it's clear that students and everyday commuters will need to adjust and plan ahead. For now, that might mean waking up a little earlier, checking those traffic apps, and preparing for some bumper-to-bumper mornings. Reporting for OwlTV today, I'm Marissa Verzi.
Officials say they're monitoring traffic flow closely and encourage students to plan extra time for their morning commute as seasonal visitors continue arriving.
In sports, it was an exciting weekend of hockey as FAU hockey faced off in its annual battle at the beach. 5 schools hit the ice with power and precision.
Wesley Moore brings us ringside for all the energy and action with 2 University of Tampa players.
I'm Wes Moore, here with Reagan Lyon, our player of the game for College Hockey South, and his teammate Alan Weitzman. Reagan, you had a great game today, scoring, you hit hard, you helped in every aspect of the game. You had a shift that was probably the best of the night. You came on, you delivered a big hit, then right after that you scored a goal, all in like a 30-second window, bang, bang. So how would you rate your performance tonight?
It's not about me, it's about the team here. I just want to shout out the boys, showed some heart, dogged Lynn, soft. I mean, we won all the battles out there. We won the puck battles, we won the fights, we won in scoring. I think we played great defense. I mean, we're ready to go tomorrow. FAU's kind of had us the past 2 years I've been here. We're ready to finally feast.
And your coach, Coach Walsh, I interviewed him at the end of the second period. He obviously means a lot to you guys. A lot of you guys were out here cheering him on. What does he mean to your team?
Sorry?
What does Coach Walsh mean to your team?
I mean, I think Alan and I could both attest to this. It's not just Walsh, it's the whole staff. Tiger, Brennan, all of them.
We're a family.
So, I mean, we're a family. Everyone, even the scratches, they fill our waters, they get our sticks. They're doing it.
We spend so much time together. We're here every weekend on a bus, 4 hours, 5 hours together. We're brothers. They're our brothers too. They're our leaders.
The Owls split the weekend, taking 1 win and 1 loss, but are getting ready for their next matchup next weekend.
It's been 1 month since the U.S. government officially shut down, and the effects are still being felt across the nation.
At universities, the impact is growing. Grant funding, research approvals, and internship programs tied to federal agencies have slowed or stopped altogether. FAU students applying for FAFSA renewals say they faced longer processing times.
The White House and Congress have yet to reach a deal, but both sides say negotiations are ongoing.
And the Florida Atlantic Owls are gearing up for their highly anticipated homecoming game against the Tulsa Golden Hurricane on Saturday, November 8th. Kickoff is scheduled at 3 p.m. at our Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
The game will also serve as Veterans Appreciation and Varsity Owls Weekend, celebrating both alum and military service members.
The Owls are looking to bounce back after a tough 32-42 loss to Navy, aiming to improve their record and deliver a memorable homecoming game for the fans.
Before we go, happy Halloween. Remember, safety is key for students heading out to celebrate. Boca Raton Police are reminding students to travel in groups. Keep an eye on belongings and plan a safe ride home if you're going out.
Have fun, but make sure your night doesn't turn into a scare for the wrong reasons.
That's all for this week's OwlTV Today. Thanks for hanging out with us and catching up on campus news. Stay safe, and as always, go Owls.
We'll be back with more updates soon, so keep showing that owl pride and have an amazing and safe Halloween weekend, FAU.